Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So today's video is going to be all about hockey romance. Yay.
Yum.
Yeah, I know. I've been noticing like this right now it's the Kraken are very big on Book Talk right now. They're not sure how they made it to Book Talk, but I've been enjoying all the videos of the Kraken lately. We need to go to a Kraken game, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be really expensive.
I know, that's what my husband said too. He's like, okay, but before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are still giving away Elsie Silver's Flawless when we reach 250 subscribers. It is signed. My fingers just aren't working. There it is. And so this is a part of our Road to 1K giveaway. We have lots of goodies we're going to be giving away as we strive to have 1K viewers. Don't forget to hit or follow us on Instagram. Don't hit us on Instagram. Just follow us on Instagram for an additional entry into the drawing.
Okay, let's talk hockey.
Let's talk hockey.
Are you ready?
Go? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm going. Oh, my turn. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first book I have for everybody, this is an oldie but a goodie. This is Rookie Move by Serena Bowen. This is the start of her Brooklyn Bruiser series. I love her Brooklyn Bruiser series. I've read almost all the books in that series. So this is about Leo and Georgia. So Leo is just being brought into the Brooklyn Bruisers. He's just being traded to the Brooklyn Bruisers. And Georgia and Leo dated when they were in high school. They were high school sweethearts. They were very close. They were, they had plans to make it. Like they were going to make it. And then something pretty traumatic happens to her and she's not able to connect with him and he's just too young to deal with it. And so they've fallen by the wayside. So Leo gets brought on to the Brooklyn Bruisers. Her dad is the coach. And she has just been hired, or she's there now as the publicist for the team. And so this is their second chance romance. I like this one a lot. So definitely go read this one if you haven't already.
All right. So my first book is Home Game by Odette Stone. It's part of her Vancouver Wolves series, and it's book number 2. This is about Ryan and Zoe. I love this because it's so different from most of your hockey romances. Zoe is homeless and she meets Ryan in a cafe. Ryan is trying to work on his taxes and he's not having any luck and things are not going well. And he's like kind of yelling at his computer. And Zoe leans over and offers to like help him fix what he's working on right in that moment. So he, of course, is like, I will give you money if you will do this for me. And she's like, no, I have to go. And he's like, okay, well, I can give you a ride. So she agrees to help him. He gives her a ride. And she just kind of has him drop her off in this like random part of town. And he feels really uncomfortable about this. So he watches her and realizes that she's trying to get into a homeless shelter. And he wants to help her. And he's not really sure like why he feels so drawn to help her. And she's like, I don't need your handouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gives her his card and something pretty bad happens to her. And she's found with that card and they call him. And she kind of ends up not having a choice that he's going to help her. But I just loved this one so much.
That was a good one. I almost chose that one. But I chose a different one first for later. So I do want to say too, Mandy and I we tried really hard to find books that weren't extremely popular. I know there's a couple that are popular, but not as extremely popular. We all know about the popular ones. We wanted to give you other options for hockey romance right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So there might be some that are fairly popular. So my next read is Blind Pass by Tegan Hunter. This is the second in her hockey series, but I love this one so much. This is a scarred hero, grumpy sunshine situation, getting married in Vegas. I mean, come on. So this is about Rhodes and Ryan. So Ryan, she is our sunshine character, and she has gone to Vegas with her best friend, who is with one of the other hockey guys, after a breakup situation happens, and she's drowning her sorrows. And then you have Rhodes, and they're there for like a game thing. So this is afterwards, they're at a bar, and she's just drinking her sorrows away, which great fun. And Rhodes has a scar that bisects his face, where he was hit with a skate when he was in his teens, when he was playing hockey, and had to have all these surgeries and reconstruction and stuff. And one thing leads to another, and they end up getting married that night in Vegas. Now, Ryan is a like an internet sensation with her beauty channel, and she's a photographer. And then you have Rhodes, who is a part of the hockey team, and both of them had blasted their wedding in their drunken stupor on the internet. And so it's already been put out there in social media. And so to save face and to make the owners of the team and the managers and everybody happy, they agreed to stay married for a year. And it's supposed to be their fake marriage, but they agreed to stay married for a year. And then this is how that plays out for them and what they do and how their relationship evolves. So I really loved this book. They said a year because they wanted to make it through the playoffs. And so they had to get through all that stuff. So yeah, love this one. It was so good. I want to read more in that series.
That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. My next book is Boyfriend Material by Elsa Madden Mills. And I'm a huge fan of hers. I love her books a lot. She writes some really great sports romances. So this is about Eric. He's a hockey player in college. And this is about Julia, and she is a stripper.
Woohoo!
She is also in college, and she's a stripper, not by choice. There's some things happening. I don't want to give anything away, but there's things happening that are requiring her to have some money. And this is what she resorts to because she just has this goal. Like, she does not care what she has to do, but she is going to graduate from college and she's going to better herself. So while she's a stripper right now, she is trying to improve herself. She knows Eric from prep school, and he kind of like trampled all over her heart. And she keeps running into him on campus. And for some reason, he is still attracted to her, and he can't quite figure out why. And so he follows her and kind of realizes just how much in trouble she is. Like, she is not stripping for fun. Like, he starts to get like, ooh, this is not a good situation. And he has to kind of decide what he's going to do with this information now that he has it.
Okay.
It's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mandy's already mentioned an Odette Stone book. And I also have one. So this is the third in her Vancouver Wolves series. Vancouver Wolves, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is the third. Mandy hasn't read this one yet. So this is The Penalty Box by Odette Stone. So this is about Micah. He is obviously on the hockey team, but he is from Russia. He is Russian. And there's some ties to some not really good people. There might be a little bit of mafia tie situation going on there that he has in his past. And so something happens where he gets brought in and questioned. And because of that, his reputation has taken a hit. And so to offset that, apparently you get married. Why wouldn't you? And so we meet Charlie, and she is a PA for a sports agency. And so he's met her through that. And she's got some bad things going on in her life. And so she agrees to marry him. It's a marriage of convenience. It's just marriage only, like nothing's going on, but she moves into his house and all that good stuff that happens with that. There is some amazing banter. They really don't like each other at all. And they are constantly at each other, but it is so good. And I was here for the banter. The banter was like the best part, just the way that they just go. It's like a tit for tat situation. It was awesome. So definitely love this one. I love a good marriage of convenience. And so this one worked for me. She also has from this one is where her Mafia series stems off of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to note.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next book is from Helena Hunting's Hockey World, but this is the All In series. It's book number 2. They can all be read as standalones, or you can read them in order to kind of see the characters as you go along. So this is A Favor for a Favor. And I loved this one because this is like a enemy's little sister.
Mhm.
So Rook and Bishop do not get along at all. And Bishop lives next door to Rook, who just moved out with his girlfriend. And one night in the middle of the night, Bishop gets woken up and he goes out to see what is going on. And he realizes that there's this girl trying to like basically move into Rook's apartment. And he's like, oh, that guy, he thinks he's so much better than everybody else. And he has a mistress moving into his apartment in the middle of the night. And it turns out that's not Rook's mistress. It's his little sister, Stevie. And so Bishop is kind of one of those guys that he's not always the best with words. Things kind of just come out of his mouth. And him and Kingston are friends, but he doesn't have a lot of friends and stuff yet on the team. And he gets hurt really bad at the very beginning of the season. And it's a groin injury. He's got to take time off work. It's hard for him to get around. And Stevie happens to be a physical therapist in sports medicine. And so she agrees to do extra sessions with him for free. And oh, sorry, I just had a brain fart.
I saw that. It was visible. It was a visible brain fart.
I was like, wait, what is she getting out of it? And in return, he's going to write her a letter of recommendation and help her kind of get her foot in the door. And that is how this book goes.
All right.
I loved it.
I know. I'm all about a good hockey romance. So,
yes.
I mean, I'd rather have dark, but I'm all about a good hockey romance. So, okay. So you are not going to be surprised. Do you know what's coming?
Oh dear. Sticks and Stones by Grace McGinty.
That's right. You can't have a book rec without Jessica recommending something by Grace McGinty. I'm sorry. I love the way you feel about Karen Crompton is how I feel about Grace McGinty. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to time this for everyone.
No, you're not going to have to time this. Okay.
Ready?
So if you've been around,
go.
What? If you've been around our channel, you know that I absolutely love this book. It was one of my top reads from 2022. So this is Sticks. That's not my timer. This is Sticks and Stone by Grace McGinty. This is about Nova. Her parents have just died, and she found out that her dad was cheating on her mom, and she has a newborn baby brother whose mother has also died by other circumstances. Her parents were in a car accident. This is something else. So she is getting full custody of baby Huey. While that's going on, there's someone who comes forward to contest the custody, and so they have to go to court. And that turns out to be a couple of hot hockey players. Hello. River is the mom to baby Huey's foster brother, and so they come forward to contest it. They want custody of Huey, and she's like, nope, this is my brother. And they're like, well, you know what? We've been around him since he was born. Their friend Devin is also involved, and he's like a mogul. He's made a lot of money. They're like, we all live together in Ann Arbor. Will you come stay with us for a little while and see how that works so that we can all help raise Huey? And so after a time of, no sleep and having a really rough time, she agrees to that. And that's where we go. So it is reverse harem. She gets all three, but two are hockey players. And then, but I do love it. I love the story. This is just one of my favorite reads from last year. Love the story. You even read it.
Well, you shaved 8 minutes off that time.
You only did it one time. You are one to talk, okay? But you read the book too. You liked it.
I did.
Even though Mandy doesn't, you don't like reverse harem, but you still read it and it was still good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tell me about your next. Is this your last?
Nope, I have 2.
Okay. I just haven't looked at my notes.
All right. So my next book is called First Score by Lisa Lemire. And this is about Kay and Blaze. Kay is an 18-year-old genius. So she is actually a senior in college at 18, which has left her in a predicament of not having a lot of the social experiences that most kids her age do. So she is still a virgin and she is looking like she's going to be graduating from college. So she's looking to have some of those experiences, and she definitely does not want to be a virgin anymore. Blaze is a hockey player who is not doing well in school. So we know this trope well, but this has a very different feel. So if you're like, oh, I've read this trope before, give this book a try still if it's a trope that you kind of enjoy or think you might. So he needs to be tutored, and Therefore, they're paired up together. It's written so well, and it doesn't have a lot of the cliches, at least in my opinion, that some of those other, like, oh, like the hockey gods getting tutored or the football stars getting tutored by, the wallflower. Like, it doesn't have that feel. Like, it's a very different reason that she's like uber smart and just hasn't been able to have some of those experiences because of where she's at. And so it's really good.
You've kind of thrown me into panic mode here, because my middle child will be a senior in college when she's 18.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she'll be before she's 18. So I'm like, what do you mean she didn't get enough life experiences? Have I given mine enough life experiences?
I don't want to give anything away, but there's a lot more to the story, like when you read it.
Yeah, I just need to calm down over here. Panic attack. Okay, so my last book that I have. So if you've ever watched any of our videos, you know that I am all about my dark romance. So if you can combine dark romance and hockey, I am going to be a happy girl. And so that was done in Brutal Obsession by S. Massery. So this is a dark hockey bully romance. They are in college, but it doesn't have that college feel to it, because I don't tend to like to read college or high school romances. So this book is about Violet and Grayson. So in our first scenes in the book, when it first opens up, they are in a car accident. They don't know each other. Grayson hits Violet. Violet is a dancer. She's a ballerina, but she also is on a dance team at college. And because of the accident, her leg is shattered. So she spends about 6 months in the hospital and in rehab. And in the meantime, Grayson is a hockey player, and he is brought to her college to play hockey for their team. She is signed an NDA. His father is very well off and very powerful. And so she signed an NDA so she doesn't talk about what happened and who did it. But when she gets back to school after this 6 month time, she finds that everybody's in love with this hockey player, and she doesn't, and they're like, it's in her group, her friend group. And she's like, who is this person? And come to find out it is Grayson. And so starts off their situation. He is not nice to her. He's a complete dick to her. So but he eventually, it's all good. There is some primal playing in here. So he does chase her. Dan tells her to run, and then he goes after her. So that's hot as well. There's definitely some non-con and some dub-con, so check your trigger warnings. But I'm ready to read the next book in the series. It came out recently, and I am all over that. So, was that my timer?
I'm sorry.
Where's your child, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I will go talk to him.
Okay. Your last book.
My last book is The Summer Proposal by Vi Keeland. And I'm a big fan of Vi Keeland. I really loved this one. Obviously, we wouldn't be recommending these if we didn't love them.
Yep.
So this is about Max and Georgia. And Georgia's on a blind date, a little reluctantly, but she's on a blind date. This guy sits down and starts talking to her, and she's like, wow, he's hot. Like, this is going well. And then her real blind date shows up. And fake blind date slips her something and walks off. Well, he left her 2 hockey tickets for the game the next night. So she assumes she's going to show up for the hockey game, and he's going to be sitting next to her, like he's going to show up, but he doesn't. And so she's like, well, this is weird. Like, why did I come to this hockey game if I'm going to be sitting here by myself? And guess who comes skating by?
Mm-hmm.
Max. So this is their story. This was Vi Keeland normally doesn't make me cry. Like, this is a book that made me cry. There's a lot of stuff happening in this book that really takes it to a whole new level. I really, really loved it, but I read it just based on the fact that this guy comes and pretends to be her blind date. He's not. I'm like, that is ballsy, but it's also hilarious. Like, I want to read more. Awesome. So there's a lot of depth to this. It's not just a cheesy book.
Okay, that's cool. I know you love your Vi Keeland, so.
I do.
Yep. All right. Okay, everybody, that is what we have for you today. So here were your 10 hockey romances that we recommend for you to read. Thank you so much for watching.
Make sure to comment and let us know what are some of your favorite hockey romances. And make sure also to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us.
We'll see you guys in the next video.